Troopers and grinders, welcome to Hank's Think Tank, where you, the Skate Take Army, get to hear my borderline psychotic takes on the strangest in MMA news. So without further ado, let's get into the highlights, or should I say lowlights, of this MMA weekend and what is to come in our short-term future, you understand? So, first topic I gotta serve you guys, rub it into your damn gullets, is regarding the UFC's antitrust lawsuits and some updates that have been occurring as of late. Let's get into it. Following Nevada judge Richard Bulware's, and yes, that is a real last name, denial of the UFC's settlement in its antitrust lawsuit, the Levy Zuffa case is now being rescheduled for February 3rd, 2025. It's coming, folks. It's here. It might as well be here, dude. It's on our way. The apocalypse is now. It's not being canceled unless another settlement is approved. Uh-oh, Dana. I hate everything about this lawsuit. I hate everything about these kids. How much more money do you want me to give you, huh? I'll settle this thing. You want another $10 million? I'll shove it right down your throats, damn it. But I love everything about these kids, and we're gonna get the deal done. We're gonna figure it out. I don't have any updates for you regarding what we're gonna do, but yeah, we're gonna get it done. So yeah, Dana, SpaghettiOs, can't bribe your way out of this one, can you, big man? I think this is because it's coming from me. This is my own personal opinion on the matter. I think this is good for UFC fighters in general, giving them much more free range to make money elsewhere while employed under the UFC. Many of these fighters being broke as a joke between their scheduled fights under the UFC, which can often last for years and drive them into taking up multiple jobs or even becoming homeless. Here's looking at you, Maria Agapova. Just ask her how nice it is to be under the thumb of UFC matchmakers. If the lawsuit is decided in court and the UFC has to change its business model, in my opinion, good. It's about fucking time they actually put care into when and how all their rookie fighters are being booked. It's Moody. Yeah, that's right, Sean Moody. The leprechaun. But anyway, hopefully the promotion doesn't turn too much into boxing with this potential ruling. But at the same time, pressure makes diamonds, asked Dustin Poirier. And I think we might see the UFC actually try to make money and book shows logically and with more consideration for local employees in a renewed struggle for financial survival. This is what happened with the WWF when they were being threatened by WCW. They had to get creative. They had to work with what they got. They had to restructure how they handled business and how they booked shows, and it resulted in them becoming a better promotion overall. I'm hoping that the UFC can learn a lesson from them and take this scary situation as sort of an opportunity to reconstruct itself and become a better business overall. But, it's Dana and Hunter, so I highly doubt that's going to happen. And I think it will be good for fans in the long run if the UFC does that. If the UFC is driven through the dirt, though, with this rolling and it's fucking rip UFC, oh well. A better MMA promotion will take its place, and their popular, more well-treated fighters will compete elsewhere. But that's just my opinion. If the UFC's done, man. You reap what you sow, and the big-time fighters, they're just going to fight somewhere else, and we're still going to see them compete. It's just a weird situation. Hopefully the UFC adjusts, so. Hank, I'll be over for Risk and Cheez-Its this weekend. Gonna be a blast. Thank you very much, Sniff. As I said, I'm glad you gave us a substance that we can grind down into a little powder and sniff, as your username implied, It's always good to have something on the table to do some lines on. Michael Bisping, where are you? Chickens have come home to roost. Maybe the Saudi prince can help Dana again. He's like, beep, boop, boop, beep, beep, beep. Turkey al-Sheikh. Hey, I'll hold your hand again if you settle this lawsuit. Yes, I will squeeze it very tightly, sir. There'll even be sweat fucking dripping in between our hands. Yes, please settle this thing. And then Turkey is like, I'm about to kill some some jury members. Take that, judge. Banzai! But yeah, the Saudi government is going to be in Dana's corner for this one. How else are we going to get Riyadh season? if this antitrust lawsuit transpires. Then the oil lords will look bad. We don't want that, do we, guys? Street tacos of every kind and some booty shaking girls for Hank. Hey, I like it, man. I like it. Now you have Sniff and you have Sean Moody together to throw themselves a fucking rave party with all the lights turned down, black light, disco ball, everyone fucking high and sexed up out of their minds. Then we got a fucking party, dude. I've always been a party man. It's totally not like I spend every day doing hard work to make sure that I have a future. No way, no how. I was in the frats, man. I was with the fraternity boys. We were fucking drinking shit off of women's tits. It was fantastic, man. And then I joined the army, and that's how I became Hank the Tank. I never learned a thing except what I learned on the streets. You understand? The mean streets of Westland, Oregon. But how's everybody doing here in the chat? What are your thoughts on the lawsuit, guys? How's this thing going to transpire? Is Dana going to continue to bribe these motherfuckers? Or is he going to fucking relent and go, uncle, uncle, like the Saudi warlords did when they twist his arm every once in a while? This is a dirty, dirty boy. That's right, Kenny Biggums. And nobody can tell me different. I haven't showered since fucking 2016. This man is certified freak. He's a super freak. Super freak. Hank super freak. Yow. Boo doo doo doo. Boo doo. Can't touch this. Sue, Sue, Sue. Yes, sir. My favorite woman in the whole wide world's named Sue. And that's when I bring the fucking gavel down and you pay your damn money. I always have a Sue the secretary in my corner because I like to litigate, you understand. Given my heritage and my blood type, I love to sue, brother. He just needs to pay up. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Sean Moody. He already paid up. Dana already tried to bribe the independent fighters trying to reach a sort of settlement. But the judge, I told you, man, the judge, let me look at his name one more time. Richard Boulware, again, that's a name. He rejected it, man. He rejected the settlement. So now Dana's fucking going at his fingernails like a fucking woodchuck, you know? So what is he going to do? Is he going to have to offer more money or he's going to have to let this thing go to court? Yuck. Stanky, man. You like Morris Day and the Time. What the fuck's a Morris, man? The only two people I know are fucking Jim Morrison and Van Morrissey. What's his name? Van Morrison? Okay, I'm getting that wrong. Hold on. Shiza. Yeah, Van Morrison. Yeah, him. Yeah. Those are the only two I know. Jim Morrison and Van Morrison. You understand? But listen, guys, we got to run out the clock. I got 5 big stories for you, so we got to have a few more minutes before I get to my next story. So hit me. Come on, I want you to do it. Come on, Batman, hit me. Hit me with something big. Yeah, I want you to do it. Jungle Love. Oh, yeah. Well, isn't that the name of some freaking rap album? Morris Day and the Time. I'm starting to remember. Morris Day and the Time. Yeah, that's right. Holy hell. How can I not see? I'm going to look that up. Oh, yeah. Hey, they look pretty good, Breber. Nice. Music videos, 80s R&B, soul. Hell yeah. Well, when I'm with my lady next time around, I'll make sure to bust out that freaking album. Personally, I believe Merab showing his cut is already building an excuse. There's the news. I'm going to get to that soon, JL. That's the main event of my news coverage. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like Merab is that much of an idiot. I heard people saying that he was trying to jump a fucking barbed wire fence, and that's why he got a cut over his eye. Others have said it was fucking sparring. Either way, he filmed it. And honestly, JL, I think you overestimate Merab's intelligence because I can guarantee that he made that fucking mistake. He didn't make that mistake on purpose, okay? And Dana White's calling him an idiot, and Sugar Sean's calling him an idiot, so... And then Merab went and did some more sparring and training afterwards. So I feel like Merab's a crazy person, and he just makes mistakes like these. It happens. They're all idiots at the end of the day, Jay. Hit you will, let me on the stream. We can pass minutes easily. I'll get there, Sean Moody. At the very end, you can enter. I'm going to be out of the loop of MMA until the Sphere card. I got burnt out. Yikes! What burned you out, JL? Was it the Contender Series? Was it the emotion of dealing with UFC 305 and poor old Gamrot and Izzy's defeats? Was that what pushed you over the edge, JL, or was it just too much MMA in general, like regional stuff? Sticky beep, he's Tyrone. I heard about that. Yuck. Show us my boogers. Why don't you do it, Tyrone? I can already see you right down there having fucking boogers and putting them all over your fingers. That's disgusting. I got the best one for the finish. Okay. Exactly. I'm loving the thumbnail. Thank you very much, Paradox of Chad. Well, justice needs to be served, Paradox, for slimy Uncle Fester and his devious business practices. They need to be fucking cracked down. And we need our unbiased, what the hell is it? Impartial legal system to make sure that guy in the Addams family pays for his crimes. In general, since 2020, I have been overly preoccupied with it. Wow, this is a long time coming. While I enjoy watching it, it has evolved into an unhealthy fixation. Well, that's true, JL, but here's how I made it work. I turned it into something productive, JL. I turned it into something that worked for me, man, with this channel. Now MMA is my fucking wife, and it's my life. And when I feel it go into my veins, and I just don't know. And I think I just don't know. Heroin, MMA, it makes my day until I'm dead on a park bench still. And Dana will do what he can because he's just a pure white-blooded shill. Anyway, that's Velvet Underground for anyone who wanted to know. We move on to our next bit. Oh, UFC 304. UFC 304. That was the fucking Aspinall fight, the Edwards fight. Dude, if anything, your love for MMA should be revitalized, JL. Your homeboy Bilal won. The rap from Sausage Party did it, brother. You got to be hyped for MMA now. It's like having an exciting, fresh candidate in a political race. It's just got to fucking energize you, man. Or maybe it's just a feeling of like JL just got a job that he always wanted. The opening was up, and he finally got the position, and then life kept on going. Bilal won the UFC welterweight championship, and then life kept on going, and then JL had an existential crisis because he was coming off the high of Bilal winning, and the decline and his realization that life continues forward really fucking pressed him. But that's a shame, man. It's a shame. Anyway, our next bit of MMA news. Khalil Rountree essentially tells UFC fans to suck it up and deal with the fact that he's fighting Alex Pereira for the UFC light heavyweight championship at UFC 307. He also called anyone who doesn't want this matchup not real fans, despite real fans knowing that he's only number 8 in the world, coming off a win over very notable failure Anthony Smith and his suspension for ingesting a banned substance, which I get wasn't his fault, but he still got suspended. He still had a long layoff. He won against Anthony Smith, who lost to Roman Dolidze. And again, I'm sorry, JL, but that is one of the worst losses you can possibly have. And yeah, Rountree, I don't think a lot of people think he's earned enough to merit a title shot against like number 3, number 2, pound for pound in the world, Alex Pereira. It actually makes a little bit of sense. While it is true that the matchmakers are mostly to blame, not himself, for this matchup, Rountree's sensitive nature continues to shine through with this overly annoyed response to fan backlash. Steve Erceg wasn't calling fans delusional or not supporting his title fight with Pantoja. He knew it was out of left field. But given Rountree's a light heavyweight, of course, he's going to defy all thinking and logic and always wanting this fight, even though he's not even in the top 5. And there's a clear next up challenger in Magomed Ankalaev. In conclusion, I am getting really tired of this dumb town crier motherfucker. Still, should be a good fight in terms of action. At least he's right there. He's right in one way. He's just wrong in the other 8 or 9 ways. But yeah, good old fucking Rountree, man. Gotta love it when he looks at a sign above a highway. And I just started crying, because it applies a lot to my life because I projected my own life onto just things around me like a fucking psychopath. And Rountree is complaining about fans complaining. Justice for Khalil Rountree. How dare he be treated this way? Not really fans. It's pretty obvious they are protecting Pereira from Ankalaev. You're right on the money there, JL. It's obvious to me that Magomed Ankalaev is the next in line to get a title shot, in my opinion, because everyone's been hyping this matchup up for just about a fucking year. And I think what sort of put Magomed Ankalaev on the UFC's bad side was the draw against Jan Blachowicz, and then that ridiculous fucking no contest against Johnny Walker. I think he's been in Dana's sights ever since. But on top of that, he wanted his fight with Alex Pereira to take place in Abu Dhabi only, which is just I think Dana loves his Dagestani privilege, obviously, because he loves Turki Al-Sheikh and he loves the Middle East, because that's where the Dagestani fighters can actually compete, because they're hated pretty much everywhere else in the world. But you can go a little bit too far with your Dagestani privilege and only wanting fights in one location in one half of the year. He's also not Khamzat Chimaev, so he's not really making all that much money. So he's getting treated like Makayev right now, you guys. He's getting faded big time, and I don't think it's rightfully so. I will say he's a little bit of a bitch for only wanting October, but in general, wanting a title shot. Obviously, he merits a title shot, but instead of giving it to Jamal Hill, instead of giving it to whoever or Oldberg or anybody else, it's given to fucking Rountree, which just makes all the sense in the world. I mean, just ask Khalil Rountree. He always wanted this title fight. JL Ola. Oh, yeah. The difference is that Ankalaev has only lost one fight and beat Smith on short notice and beat multiple guys. Beat Anthony Smith? It's got to be like a fucking century ago, lifetime. When was that? He beat Smith on short notice. Okay, so you're saying in comparison to Khalil Rountree fighting Smith and beating him when it was scheduled, whereas Ankalaev beat Smith on short notice. God, I miss fucking short notice Ankalaev, dude. Where was that guy? He's been long gone. Yeah, he obviously deserves a title shot. Ankalaev, who's coming off of a knockout win over Walker, knocked Rountree out. So what WTF is he talking about? Well, what he's talking about, JL, is delusion. What he's talking about is his own pockets being filled by the UFC, because sort of like the Sean Strickland type, he's sort of a prize fighter. He just wants to get the fights that make him the big money and get him the success and give him the championship. It's sort of like an Urseg situation where, I mean, who wouldn't accept that matchup? But at the same time, own up to it that it's not, the fairest matchup in the world, and it is the most logical matchup in the world. That's what Urseg did when the UFC gave him a title shot against Alexandre Pantoja. He was like, yeah, I know this is sort of weird. I know I'm number 10 in the world, but hey, I'm still going to try my best, and you're going to see a show from me. Whereas Khalil's like, shut up! I earned this fight! It's the one I always wanted, so I want to get my toy now! Anybody who thinks that I shouldn't fight Pereira is not a real fan. You're not hardcore. Everybody knows it's going to be fun. Yeah, so he's crying as usual. Hey, Joshua Jaquez. How's it going, my guy? Nice to see you, Berber. Josh, yes, sir. The Skate Tank Army is growing and growing and growing. Ever since we instituted the draft, all those unwilling young men are entering the Skate Tank war zone. What's up, Leprechaun? Hank, do you think Conor versus Chandler will happen or no? Ah, Jesus Christ. It's one of those situations where I actually think it's never going to happen. I don't think it's happening because either an injury occurs or Conor gets arrested for speeding, or he and Chandler go back and forth and they cancel and then they fucking have it on and then they cancel. And then to pile everything on top of that, Dana's like, oh, it's not scheduled this year. It's scheduled for later. It doesn't fit into that time frame. And we're like, dude, what the fuck, Dana? They finally agreed to fight, and now you're saying it's not going to happen. Dude, it's like the fucking Senate and the House of Representatives writing up a bill and voting for it and going to the Oval Office, and then you fucking veto it. What the fuck, Dana? Just when everything's coming together, even fucking Dana's fucking making sure this fight isn't happening. So I feel like it's Murphy's Law. I feel like everything's going against that fight, and Isha was always right. It's not going to happen. Pantoja also beat most of the other ranked guys. Yeah, exactly. So it made sense, as well as Muhammad Makayev having a pretty mid performance against Alex Perez. Manel Cap's on the sidelines. Kai Kara France is on the sidelines. Nobody's fighting. Brandon Royval beat Brandon Moreno, but that wasn't even that impressive. So that was a very unique situation where Ursa gets a title shot. He's still fucking killing that division as Pantoja. I like him as a person, but he is ruining that division. Good. Yes. It's not happening. Exactly, Western Mass Climber. Not a fucking prayer, dude. So honestly, Michael Chandler needs to move on in order for this fight to die. But he's too much of a stubborn, all-American Reaganite prick that he's like Khalil Rountree is going to believe in his own delusion and his own my own story that I'm telling. Trust. This is just a chapter in my narrative. I'm going out like fucking Frodo Baggins in Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Watch. But as long as McGregor and Chandler can keep their psychotic energy alive, it's always going to be on the table until it's not. Which brings me to my next piece of MMA news. Jon Jones ducking Tom Aspinall. The saga continues. Tom Aspinall, in an interview on the Believe You and Me podcast with Michael Bisping and Anthony Smith, finally showed some teeth in talking about the professional duck, the roid rage cheat. Hook it to my veins! I gotta kill my wife. And nightmare scenario of wives everywhere. Jon Jones. Say hello to Jones, everybody.
I'm a good Christian.
I love you in my heart. Happy birthday to you. I'm gonna make Stipe my wife. Anyway, in an interview with the Cyclops, Michael Bisping, and the worst family protector of all time, Anthony Smith, Aspinall laid into Jones' character and his history of drug tests, saying that Jones was essentially a morally bankrupt person and that there wasn't a surprise visit from USADA he didn't hate. So he's going all in. He's turning into a fucking truth teller. All bets are off with Tom Aspinall. He's unhooked himself from the chains that bound him, and this man is fucking trying to sink his teeth into Jones' fucking neck. He also said that Jones was choosing to fight a washed-up old fogey named Stipe Miocic due to him refusing to fight the real world heavyweight champion in the UFC himself, Tommy Boy Aspinall. One of the best parts is at the very beginning of the interview when Tom said that there isn't one article, one video, or a social media post from Jon saying that he was open to fight him, which is seriously pathetic, in all honesty, and it's absolutely the truth. I dare all you people in the chat, the troopers and grinders, to try to find one article, one Twitter post, one fucking video interview of Jones where he says, oh yeah, I'd love to fight Aspinall. You're not going to find it because the man knows that Tom Aspinall could take his head off his fucking shoulders and absolutely destroy his legacy, which if they were booked in a fight, he absolutely would. So Tom is speaking nothing but facts. I got it from the guru, the MMA guru, and I am relaying it for you guys here. Tom also said that Jon was praying for him to lose against Curtis Blades, and he would be Jon's boogeyman as the short notice replacement for his fight with Miocic in November, and that he would retire Jon without even fighting him. Chef's kiss from Tom Aspinall. That goes fucking hard, dude. I'm loving based Tom Aspinall. All bets are off. Fucking unhinged Tom Aspinall is the best Tom Aspinall. Hey, Jones, you ever been fingered by a UFC fighter? What would it take, Jon Jones? Anyway, undisputed world heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall. I don't want to hear anybody else telling me that man, Tommy Boy, is not the real world champion right now and that Jones is fucking molting because he's a duck and he's losing all his feathers, and that Jones isn't the interim champion, that Tom isn't the real world champion. That's just my opinion, man. They got to put the fucking fight together. I've noticed that Dana White has been telling everybody, oh yeah, we're gonna book it. We're gonna book the Jones fight versus Aspinall. The winner of Jones and Miocic is gonna fight Tom Aspinall, but He said a lot of other things that he hasn't really followed. Oh yeah, Conor versus Chandler. It's gonna happen, dude. We're gonna make it happen. And Alex Pereira, he's gonna fight Ankalaev. He's the next in line. And and Bilal Muhammad, yeah, he's He's definitely going to fight Shavkat. And the Sphere card, UFC 306, is going to be the greatest sporting event of all time. So, yeah, don't believe a fucking thing that USADA says. That that Dana White says. Oh yeah, we're gonna have drug testing. So oh yeah, we're gonna settle this thing. We're gonna settle this lawsuit. So don't trust anything Uncle Fester from the Addams Family says. Jon Jones is probably gonna fucking retire after a Stipe Miocic fight. He is probably going to do some dumb shit in ADCC in 2025, as he has posted on Twitter. And he never wanted to, he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall, and he never will, because he's never been interested, because he's a coward, and he knows that he's not in his prime anymore. Good old Dominic Reyes showed Jon Jones that he's not in his prime. And so he fucking bribed Ciro Gane into taking the fall during their heavyweight championships match, because Dana fucking hates Ngannou leaving so much he'll basically accept any fucking result in the UFC, including a fucking fixed fight. And now Jon Jones is basically waiting for old man Stipe to take the fall for him as well, but it's not going to happen this time around. Tom Aspinall is going to be in the fucking front row for that UFC 308 or whatever the fuck the event is, and then he's going to go into that cage and stare down Jon Jones, and then we're going to see that fucking fight happen. Trust. Just ask Dana White. I just jumped up and down in one space for 5 minutes while shrieking. Well, I'm glad that was a very meditative experience, Sniff, and that you have a very stable mental health. It's good to know that, you, like John Lennon, you used scream therapy to really let out all your troubles and your sins and become a better person. It's not a sign of mental instability whatsoever. Sniff is just following the Hank the Tank path and using his past to fucking let out all his energy on others. It's very healthy. It's good to project yourself onto the world. But anyway, guys, hey, I'm going to get to the next news story. But until I do, in 2 minutes, what do you got for me? Hit me with your best fucking shot, man. I'll answer any of your questions regarding the best and worst in MMA. Doesn't even have to involve the UFC, man. It can involve all sorts of promotions. Or you can ask very strange impression requests and personal tidbits like fucking paparazzi rats. Ooh. Dana White is going to protect his stars by any means. Yes. What are you talking about, Juice Man? I'm not defending Jon Jones. I'm not defending Jon Jones. Jon Jones is the greatest ever. He is the greatest heavyweight of all time. And if you think that Jon Jones doesn't deserve to be pound for pound number one, you're not real fans. Just ask Khalil Rountree. You're not real fans. I'm not defending Jones here. I'm just saying that Jon Jones has been a company man. He's fucking ruined events. He's cheated like 4 or 5 times. He literally hid under the cage when USADA came close. That's like what Conor's doing. And isn't he awesome? Isn't Conor McGregor awesome? So Jon Jones and me have been good friends. He's a good Christian, is Jon Jones. And because he is such a kind and fair Samaritan, he deserves Stipe in New York. I don't know what to say. I'm not defending him. I'll even go up to Teddy Atlas, who's 80 years old, and scream in his face that Jon Jones is the greatest and fucking practically spit on the camera because he's disrespecting my GOAT. Not named Turkey Al Sheik. I'm just talking about Dana. I can't stand Dana. I can't stand Dana either, man. He's past his prime. He's fucking out of it. Troopers and grinders. The guy's wearing fucking headdresses and he's not even in the Middle East. He's trying to fucking bribe in the UFC fighters when they're just trying to get to themselves some better fucking working conditions. And on top of that, the cards fucking suck. The Apex fucking sucks. In general, the booking has been in the garbage. That's because Dana has a bunch of fucking cronies around him who will just bend over for him when he's bending over for certain champions. Dana's lost it, dude. Dana's out of his prime. And he's not the fucking straight shooter that we saw before. The guy is willing to serve the interests of certain interests and fighters. Want to see Joe Rogan just get slept? I do too. Well, he always gets close when someone who is of a certain persuasion makes a joke and he's like, he's so funny. He's unhandled. He goes up there he's on the smelling salts. Oh, so what do you think about elk meat? Don't you think that comedians really have it hard? Aren't comedians secretly the heroes of America? Haven't comedians basically solved cancer and gotten rid of cancer and it guaranteed peace on earth? Comedians really have it rough, man. People forget, man. Joe Rogan will throw a yo-yo at your head sniff. Yes, exactly. A yo-yo that is his kick that will go like a bullet at Juiceman's head and really give Sniff something to sniff. Joe's fucking toe up his nose. But I hate that Joe Rogan's in shape. I hate that Dana White's in shape. I hate that if I had to get in a fist fight with either of those guys, they would kick my ass. But maybe if I hit him from behind, then I can really do some damage. Joe Rogan is an over-exaggerating commentator. That's the greatest KO I've ever seen. Dude, shin kicks have really changed the game. Hey, man, he really needs to get into a better position on his back. This guy's amazing as a BJJ artist. Dude, I think that BJJ might be the best martial art out there, you guys. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. That is the greatest walk-off KO we've ever seen from Sean O'Malley. What a kid. Anyway. Oh, Dylan's in the chat. Oh! Me Red. It's Big Red, Dylan. Let me give you a little recap of everything I've been talking about, good sir. So the UFC antitrust lawsuit, it's still happening. The trial's set for February. Dana's fucked unless he can have a better deal. You want more money from me? And give some more millions and millions of dollar bills in blood and oil money to those independent fighters. The UFC's in trouble, and I don't give a shit. And then Khalil Rountree is crying about fans rightfully criticizing the UFC for booking him against Alex Pereira because Khalil Rountree is a very emotionally unstable person in general, and he's a pussy and a bitch, and got fucking suspended for illegal substances after beating fucking Anthony Smith. So who cares? And then finally, Tom Aspinall roasted Jon Jones on a fucking spit when he was saying that I'm the real world champion. I'm the world champion. And you want to talk about moral character? Jon Jones, he's failed a bunch of drug tests. You want to talk about drug tests? I've never failed one in my life. Jon Jones takes it all out on his wife. You blue. He is blue. I think Dylan is very blue inside. That's why I go with cigarettes. And those cigarettes have put a fucking hole in my lung. I can't fucking talk normally. That's going to be Big Red in 10 years. So don't be like Carlos Prates, kiddos. After you win a fight, go and enjoy some fucking Pop Rocks or some cereal or enjoy a candy bar at the gas station or something. Don't light up a cigarette. It's bad for you kids. Why is it every time in the UFC live chats, everybody spams Rip Joe Rogan? Never fails. Wonder who started that. God, what was that even? Was Joe Rogan like sick at some point during the pandemic or something? And then somebody said, oh, Rip Joe, the COVID got him. And what was it? I don't know. I think it was just some rando in a fucking weigh-in stream or a fucking press conference. And Joe Rogan wasn't there, so he went Rip Joe Rogan and fucking stuck, dude. Now even Joe Rogan's pissed about it, which is good because I hate Joe Rogan, and whenever he's unhappy, I'm happy. Bear from the Rampage podcast is so entertaining. Yes, sir. I'm gonna have to fucking take a look at that, brother. I gotta listen to the man. Oh, Sally is a drug cheat. No. Where's your proof, Juiceman? Well, how do I don't know that you're a drug cheat, Juiceman? It's in the name, right? You took your fucking EPO from Jones. You got it, the testosterone of a castrated male. Spill the beans, man. I think O'Sally looks too fucking skinny to be a roid cheat, honestly. I don't think that man has any muscle definition or tone in his body. Guy steals the show every time. Also, does O'Malley have a fucking gyno boob? I'm going to have to take a look at that. Guy steals the show every time. Yes, for sure. Good old Bear from the Rampage show. I'll have to check him out. O'Malley also steals the show every time he's on. That's him now, Big Red. Solid impression. Thank you very much, Dylan. Nah, it's going on before COVID, I think. Wow. I honestly think it came from some sort of fucking fumble by the UFC production crew, and they just took full advantage of it. Know what I'm saying? Twice. Due Tom Aspinall being a married man, but asking to finger Nina Drama like a knuckle-dragging cretin mid-interview. Hey, Nina Drama, I know that you're asking about my interim title fight, but have you ever been fingered by a UFC fighter?
Well, I'm usually the one who's supposed to be asking that.
What would it take? What would it take, Nina? I'm just kidding. Hey, I know you ask the gotcha questions. I know you're trying to finger a UFC fighter. I'm just asking the truth. What would it take? I'm happily married, but in case the option's open, I can always pull an O'Malley. A Sean O'Malley. He's a hell of a cuck. I'd love to be that. So, Nina Drama, after I'm done whooping Sergey Pavlovich's ass, how about you, me, and Jones in a menage a trois? All right, we move on to our next piece of MMA news. I'm not going to stoop to your low, Dylan, even though I just did. Dricus du Plessis, following his big submission win over the dog bender Israel Adesanya. Dude, this is just another chapter, except it's the final chapter. It's the end of my book, Trust. I'm coming out with the sequel. My story may be over, but it was a bestseller, so I got to write another one. Somewhere else, I gotta fight Kamzat and get choked up. Trust. He eviscerated Brendan Schaub, that little fucking cuck for Joe Rogan, for predicting Israel Adesanya to win in dominant fashion against DDP, the African King, saying, "Great prediction, has been." Just kidding. You never were. You never said that. You never said that Israel Adesanya would beat me. Name one interview. Find one video of Brendan Schaub saying that Israel Adesanya would beat me. He never said that. Yeah, so anyway, great prediction, husband. Just kidding, you never were. Oh, wombo combo! Got him! I was waiting for a response to that half-a-brain Izzy cuck Brendan Schaub. His appearances on JRE are often insufferable. And to be fair, Schaub took DDP's shots well, no Jones, like a man, and owned up to his blunder, saying that DDP was better than anybody at finding a way to win, which is true, and that above all striking or technical differences, du Plessis had an insane amount of grit and the will to win. Thank you for owning up, Schaub. But that being said, Dricus still cooked you like a fucking steak, well, and rightfully so. Now it looks like DDP is set to face Sean Strickland for the middleweight crown next. What do we think of the rematch likely happening in the future, troopers and grinders? How do you think it will go? That's my big question. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you. Izzy should eat tons of burgers and go to heavyweight. Hey, man, Alex Pereira kicks my ass and DDP kicks my ass. The only one who can't kick my ass is fucking Alexander Romanov. Trust. Dude, I'm gonna fucking take down Tatu Ivasa. My Australian brother! Hey, Tatu Ivasa, check 23 and me. You'll know where you're from. You're from Stockton. Trust. You're from the fucking hood in California. SoCal, man. You ain't no Australian. Just ask Robert Whittaker whether or not you're Australian. I will show you where you're from. I will show you it's Israel Adesanya. But, yeah, Izzy, I gotta go up and smash all the butterballs. I'm still gonna somehow look fucking anorexic despite being at heavyweight. Trust. Finally, I'm gonna grow some boobs and it's not gonna be from gyno. Trust. I'm gonna be growing some moobs. I'm gonna get those fucking disgusting burgers that I have every time I do a reaction stream, and I'm just gonna keep eating them. Yeah, I don't even have to film it this time. I wish I had some dog meat at the house. Trust. Yeah, Israel Adesanya. I'm just imagining Jailton Almeida just fucking grabbing Izzy and just, oh God, he's left me frozen like Elsa. And then it's just, hey, Shama. Hey, Jailton Almeida. Just lay on him like carpet bag. Israel Adesanya. Come to Almeida. Shama. And then Jailton just fucking lays on him, sweats on him for 15 minutes. Trust. Makes him look like Derek Lewis. Botched. That'd be nice. I think Israel Adesanya would get fucking slept. And I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Izzy, instead of taking a fucking, 20 shots before he's finished, like with DDP and Alex, he just goes up against Tom Aspinall. Just boom, boom. Oh, God. He's let me sleep in like beauty. Anyway, we move on to our next big story for the live stream. Dana White recently responded to the idiocy and general bullshit of Merab Dvalishvili recently, saying the quiet part out loud and calling him next level stupid. I hate everything about these kids. These guys with this business. You can't write a worse script. All these guys are dumbasses. I hate everything about these kids. So he called him next level stupid for posting a cut over his right eye that could potentially cancel his main event fight with Sean O'Malley in the Sphere. There are many reasons as to why this was a dumb move by Merab. First of all, O'Malley knows exactly what to target during their fight at 306. Second of all, you run the risk of the Nevada State Athletic Commission shutting the fight down for your health and safety, suffering the same fate that Charlie Olives did before his fight with Islam Makhachev. Sean O'Malley got pissed off by the video as well, hoping the fight wouldn't get canceled, which just shows how confident O'Malley is against anybody that he doesn't want his nightmare matchup to get canceled. Jones would fucking never. Merab then posted a video saying everyone needs to stop running their mouths. Let me do a Merab impression.
Everyone, they need to stop running their mouths like me, Merab Dvalishvili, and my fucking Mexican social piece. Sean O'Malley, I kill you. I kill your boy. Tim Welsh, she said bad things about me. I'm going to smash you. I'm going to make a YouTube short about him. You cannot say this to me, Merab. Aljo, help me.
But he told everyone to stop running their mouths. But if Merab stopped posting videos of himself acting like a dummy and jumping barbed wire fences and steep cliffs and pulling fans' hair in the crowd for saying O'Malley beats him and throwing hissy fits with losses in Sambo tournaments, maybe those criticisms wouldn't happen. I don't know. Just my observations. But what do you think of this whole situation, troopers and grinders? Is Dana White correct for calling Merab a stupid piece of shit? Did Merab sabotage himself, as JL implied, through giving himself a cut over his right eye? And how are things going to transpire, troopers and grinders? Is this just a drop in the bucket, or will this have serious impacts on the future with UFC? Is Merab really a nightmare, though? He's so small compared to O'Malley. That is very true, Sven Svensson. I think in terms of, like, on paper, Anthony Smith style, just fucking first impression. You know, Merab, he's a scary grappler. He gets people down. You know, he can't complete them. Like, he can't actually keep a guy down, but he can shoot for takedowns. And the pressure game is really tough, and it can gas his opponents out. But I've said this for a while, Sven Svensson. I actually think that Sean O'Malley could KO Merab. I think that he could fucking teep him to the body from far away and then wait for Merab to come in and just fucking smash him with a left hand that knocks him out cold. In my opinion, if Henry Cejudo can rock Merab, I definitely think that Sean O'Malley can. I think his timing is pretty much flawless when he fights. And what he deals with worst is the takedowns. And that's why a lot of people are saying that Merab could be the guy to beat him. But at the same time, Merab, he's just not good at effective grappling. He's good at constant pressure because he's probably on EPO, but he can't complete it. So I just feel like he might wear out O'Malley in the first couple rounds, but then O'Malley's going to hit a knee. O'Malley's going to wait for him to come in and then hit a perfect counter shot. O'Malley's just really good at timing things and doing feints to get some big shots. And as long as Tim Welsh is in his corner, I actually think that O'Malley has a hell of a chance against Merab. So I'm picking him, but at the same time, I can understand why a lot of people are saying, oh, God, Merab might just beat O'Malley. Yeah, I see Sean putting his lights out. Yeah, and I hope that happens, Svensson. Honestly, Merab, he was entertaining for a little while, but he's gotten to be annoying pretty quickly once again. I wish we could go back to the Mexican ethnicity Merab. That was the most fun Merab, and he actually put on a decent fight against Henry Cejudo and sort of went against a lot of the criticisms that fans had towards his style of fighting. It's a bad fucking card when Merab is putting on the best fight of the night against Henry Cejudo. What was that fucking card? It was like UFC 296, I think. And he somehow found a way to make that fight entertaining. So I got to give him props for that. But at the same, it might have been 297 as well. I'm not sure. But either way, Merab used to be fun. There was a brief period where Merab could actually be called popular and actually someone to root for. But then I think he threw all that good faith away by acting like a fucking bitch during that Sambo tournament and just saying rude things to people who compete in another sport from him. And then, always stealing shit, starting a fight with people. Man's fucking unhinged. We've known this from the start. Sometimes it's entertaining, but often it's not. And then he tried to fucking pull a fan by the fucking hair for just saying that Sean's your daddy. And I mean, don't you hear that from fans all the time? If you're a guy that another guy's betting against or someone they're rooting against, don't they say worse shit than that? And you're going to fucking pull a fan's hair? Fuck you, Merab. You fucking Marat. So yeah, now Merab's becoming the Merab we all knew he was, which is just sort of a psychopath who's mean to fucking Peter Yan. What a bitch. But yeah, it's just weird. I'm hoping that O'Malley sleeps him because I think Merab is his fighting style is just, it's like Bilal's, and I don't want another Bilal as a champion. So rooting very hard for Sean, and I think that he actually wins because Sean O'Malley is a very complete fighter. But in the meantime, let me give you folks some mini news. So as you recall, Dan Hooker was able to get the split decision win against Mateusz Gamrot in my happiest moment on UFC 305. Big come from behind win. I don't think a lot of people expected Dan Hooker to pull that off. If you saw that Gamrot was getting knocked down like 3 or 4 times by RDA, though, you did know that Hooker definitely had a chance in there, and I did too, but still picked Gamrot. I wish that was one of those fights that I had picked right, because I think I would have been even more fucking thrilled than I was when I saw that Hooker won. But anyway, he got the win. Very exciting stuff. And now there are some rumors regarding who he's going to be fighting next. Now that Dan Hooker is ranked in the top 5. Can you guys fucking believe that? Isn't that fucking crazy? Dan Hooker has turned back the clock fully, and you can never count the hangman out. He's talking about fighting Charles Oliveira. A lot of the fans are pushing for him to fight Justin Gaethje instead, but Hooker's adamant to fight Charles Oliveira, and it seems like the UFC has been interested in that matchup too, given that they booked Oliveira versus Hooker first, or they had rumors of Oliveira going against Hooker first, and then those plans were scrapped. So it's interesting. I feel like they might rebook that fight because the UFC is very unoriginal and puts very little effort into the fights that they make, but I wouldn't mind seeing either of those matchups. Also, Dan Hooker accidentally revealed that there's going to be another card in Australia in Sydney in February. Apparently, he just fucking spilled the beans during an interview, so he ruined the UFC's plans there. And now Dana might treat the man like Ariel Helwani and book him against fucking Benoit Saint Denis next, or whoever, or Armin Sarukian, But then again, Dan Hooker wants to fight him too. So Dan Hooker's just a fucking psychopath, but he might get punished for accidentally leaking the Sydney card. Hey, Anakin Skywalker, how you doing, brother? Your profile pic sort of reminds me of Anakin Skywalker, in that Luke was a very emotional kid as well, who did a lot of crying in episode 4. So I will say that John Silva is probably the hero of all of our dreams, the featherweight goat. Gamrot said he wants Beneil in December. Oh, so he wants the rematch with Beneil. That would actually be good. That'd be a good fight. I think a lot of fans would be interested in that, because Beneil fucking whooped Gamrot's ass in that fight. Also shows that Dariush and Gamrot fight was not a fluke whatsoever. It was just someone who knew how to stuff the takedowns of Gamrot and then beat him up on the feet. Simple as that. And I said this from the start after watching the 280 fight, and I was like, okay, this is the key to beating Merab. I mean, this is the key to beat them. Might as well fucking switch them in and out. This is how you beat Gamrot. You stuff the takedowns, you reverse everything he fucking does, and then you go to work on the feet. So Dan Hooker learned from the Beneil Dariush game plan, and he fucking executed it effectively. I would love to see Beneil versus Gamrot again, though. I actually have a feeling like Beneil could actually get a win again with that. Dan versus Charles, Justin or Dustin would be fun. Yeah, I feel like that's the top 3 that they're going with. Any of those fights would be a fucking banger because they're both strikers. Charles, it's just weird. Like, I almost don't want to see the Justin fight because I feel like Justin would knock Dan out at some point. He's just got a lot of power in his fucking fists. And he doesn't have a lot of technique, but he definitely makes up for it by just having unbelievable power in his fucking fists. If he catches Dan flush, he's going to knock him down. So I actually think Charles hasn't had a lot of success on the feet recently in his fights. And so I feel like Charles versus Dan would actually be the more even matchup. Or book him versus Dustin because they fought before and Hooker came pretty close to beating Poirier, and Poirier is out of his prime. So it would be interesting. Hooker Chandler 2, Electric Boogaloo. I mean, that would be fun, Sniff. I think Chandler definitely needs a fight outside of fucking Conor McGregor. So I think that would be a good fucking exit route for Chandler, but I don't think it would make for a great fight. I feel like Chandler would still fucking knock him out because here's the thing, Sniff. Here's the fucking thing, you guys. I'm gonna make a prediction for you guys. I feel like Chandler would still find a way to finish Hooker because Hooker's weakness is guys with a lot of power in their fists, not the grapplers. He destroyed Claudio Puellas and neutralized Gamrot. It's guys with power that basically knock his lights out and ruin everything. So I'd have Hooker against someone with less power in their fists. Hell yeah. Hooker needs to get that rematch. That'd be a lot of fun. Absolutely. I think that's one of the fights to make. It's just so tough. All three fights are fun. Honestly, Justin would be the last choice I'd go for just because I think Justin has the best chance of knocking Hooker out. Whereas Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier, like they have the ability to fumble the fights. So that's what makes it more interesting. If UFC is going back to Australia in February, does that mean that Volk will be back there? I'd assume so, Anakin Skywalker. And honestly, it's probably for the best because Volkanovski needs to take more time off after just getting knocked out. I feel like his chin, it's on its way to healing, but it's not there yet. Volk needs to get back in shape, needs to bring back that championship mentality, needs to go against someone big, a big name. I don't care if it's in the lightweight or the featherweight division. Book Volk a little later down the line when he's fully recovered and he's fully ready to return. You can't wait too long for Volk to return because he's getting up there in age. Old man Volk, you know. Hey, I was a UFC featherweight champion once. Yeah, no, I mean it, mate. Far out. I was a fucking UFC featherweight champion, mate. You know, down under. I went down under and I defended me belt. I was stubborn about it. I wanted to keep my belt, but now I'm done. I'm done. But he's back. He's not done. He's not done. He's back. And he's got to do a little bit of his cooking show and then get in shape, dude. That's a good enough turnaround for Volk. And I'd put Volk against someone where it's an even matchup and I'd give Volk a chance. I wouldn't feed him to the wolves right away. Anakin. Yes, sir. Everybody's part of the Skate Tank MMA family. Technically, they're all fucking Paradox the Chat's chat, but it doesn't matter anyway. Who cares? Hey, we got a bunch of friends here. We got a bunch of comrades in arms. You hear me? I don't know, man. I give Dan a fair shot at beating Justin next. Interesting. Do you think that it's because Justin's chin is completely gone? Do you feel like Justin is sort of out of his prime and Dana has a shot at winning him? Give me your argument, Western Mass Climber, in terms of how you think that fight would go. Let's look at some more MMA news. Oh, yeah. There was news of Conor McGregor. Let's go. Let's have some red panty night, Conor McGregor. God bless. See you at the top. Good old drunky drunk Conor McGregor was seen at a party recently with, wouldn't you know it, the lady who was bumping and grinding on him at the motorcycle rally. She's back, dude. She was seen in Conor McGregor's arms when new photos emerged. And yeah, D. Devlin is hella pissed.
Hey, he's mine. Hey, I want to be fertile for him. He's mine. I need to have 2 more kids of his. You can't take him away from me. I'm D. Devlin, damn it.
And meanwhile, the small fucking midget chick that was with Conor McGregor at the motorcycle rally is like, girl, he's my man. And now they're gonna get in a cat fight over who's going to have Conor McGregor's affections as well as his unit. It's gonna be a fucking bloodbath, man. It's gonna be fucking blood sport, fight to the fucking death over who's going to be Conor's top bitch, number one. I can't wait to see that, man. But I can't believe that midget girl has finagled her way once again into the Conor McGregor family. Paradox the Chad, really 50 years old. I think he is, mate. I think he's playing video games for a 50-year-old fucking cunt, mate. How could you expose my age like that? Hank the Tank, good to see you, lad. Dude, I listen to music like I'm fucking 50 years old. I might as well be blood. Hey, you guys, I got a fucking PayPal. So give me your money. Give me your fucking money. Press the fucking button. Give me some donations, mate. I fucking earned it. I've been fucking streaming almost an hour playing UFC games. Chandler needs to move on from Conor. I agree, Anakin Skywalker. I'll be honest. I would allegorize this fight between Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler as like an abusive relationship, toxic relationship. Both of them are having screaming matches online. Both of them say they're always going to quit, but then they never do. They always say, "Oh, I hate you. Please have me back. I want to pair with you again. I want to make the match happen. Come on." And they want to get back together. They're fucking separated. They have a fucking law in place to keep them like 5 feet, 10 feet apart from each other at all times. But they love each other and they just want to get back together and bring the family together. But it never ends up happening, does it? They always say they'll go to family therapy, but they never do. That's part of it. I also think Dan's reach advantage would come into play. I think he would jab up Justin, and his nose is in rough shape after fighting Max. That's true. His nose might just break again. He'd be fucking bloodied up. So, hey, I'm not going to stand in the way of it. As long as Hooker gets another fucking fight in the top 5, I'll be happy. That was spot on. Thank you very much, Vincent. Hank, is it true that I'm being targeted by a Judeo-Masonic network of MMA fans? Well, tell me all about it, Sniff. Tell me your troubles, homie. It's safe in here. We can both talk. Hey, hello, Sniff. I'm Kurt Lancaster with To Catch a Predator. Take a seat, Sniff. Take a seat. So you were having a conversation with a 12-year-old, and you were supposed to meet in this house and watch Netflix. Is that correct, Sniff? Were you here to indeed play some games and eat some candy with this young girl? But you're being targeted by Judeo-Masonic network. Why specifically Judeo-Masonic? What's your deal with them? Is it because you've denied the snowfrost? Have you denied that the snowfrost existed? I am not that word. Why are you not that word, Sniff? You should be, man. You should be. Just take the jump, man. Take a dive on the wild side, and just let it all out, brother. There's gonna be heaven on earth. Trust me, man. There is a heaven. There is a God. He's totally there for you, man. Just kidding, dude. Do not do it. Do not do it. I love you too much here at the Skate Tank MMA podcast. You're too much of a shining light for us and a beacon of hope and great wisdom for us, Sniff. And so I can't have you fucking dying on me, man. You're getting targeted. Why is that? I'm afraid I may have that. Oh, no. You're like that fucking prisoner in Oz who's a fucking Neo, and then he gets knocked out by somebody, and then the dentist fucking puts in the gums of the minority that he hates and basically drives him fucking crazy. So I hope that a dentist didn't fuck with your gum line, Sniff, and turn you into freaking mix, man. We don't need that mix here. Well, if you have Jewish DNA, fucking don't worry about it, man. Let all that hate reside, dude. Now that you know that you're part of that community that you despise, own up to it, man. Realize that we're all your family at the end of the day, brother. We have your best interests in mind, and we love you so much. So just come home, Sniff. Come home. Never met real dad, and my hair isn't like my mom's. Ooh, now we got some drama involved. Holy Carlito. And just ask Richard F. with the yikes meme, that emoji. I'm sorry, man. Well, I hope that you can just stay in touch with your mom, and I hope that she's accepting of that ethnicity. If she's not, find some friends who are. Jesus was a Jew. That is true. Jesus was the king of the Jews. So if you got a problem with Jews, you got a problem with Jesus. You understand? Christianity and Judaism are just two sides of the same fucking coin, man. Just pick your fucking fantasy religion, make a wish, and move on with your life, bro. Because they're just like fucking Aesop's fables at the end of the day, man. Just pick one. But you guys, I gotta head out in maybe 8 or 9 minutes. So last roll call, guys. Last roll call. Give me some comments before I head out, fellas. Tell me what you think about the most recent in MMA news. Did you know, Denial, since you just showed up, that Merab's a fucking idiot and got a cut over his eye? The fight isn't going to be canceled, but basically now Suga knows that Merab has an injury, and Dana called him next level stupid, which is honestly fair. Then Dricus du Plessis fucking roasted Brendan Schaub to death, which is also really good. Brendan Schaub, notable fucking talking head on the Joe Rogan Experience, said that Israel Adesanya would paint the canvas red with Dricus's blood, and now he's really paying for it, you know. Then Tom Aspinall is basically calling Jon Jones a drug cheat and a frightening threat to all wives, and he's the real world heavyweight champion, which is true. Oh wait, hold on, we got some comments. I said that, and Dana's slander, absolutely warranted. Merab's a fucking nutcase. He's not wrong about boxing camps versus MMA camps and injuries. What did he say about boxing camps versus MMA camps? Denial. I know that MMA has more of a chance at getting an injury from sparring. All that being said, I call BS on Jon Jones getting injured while recording. Ah, I see. So you're saying that he was faking that he tore his fucking pec while the camera was fucking filming, and he made that sound effect. And then they very coincidentally had a camera crew and a camera guy in the corner of the room as Jon Jones was coming in to talk to Dana and Hunter to let him know that an injury happened. Oh, it's for the documentary. It's for the documentary. It's not like we had this planned ahead of time and a built-in excuse for Jon Jones to strip himself of the belt. The one problem I have with that argument, Denial, is that you'd hope that the UFC would want Jones versus Miocic. You'd hope that Jon Jones could retire on the W because Dana glazes Jones to Kingdom Come. So why have a moment where, now Tom Aspinall gets a chance to destroy Jon Jones? Why would they even want the possibility of Jon Jones taking an L before he leaves? Unless it was for another reason that Jones had to vacate the belt. Unless it was for like a drug test, a failed drug test, as he often does. That actually is a good conspiracy theory. Fucking wipe the fucking drug abusing off the rug through footage of him tearing his back. It's brilliant. Nothing is leaked in boxing, and MMA guys want to tell the world. Yeah, it's very, as the church lady would say, isn't that convenient? So, and then, with boxing, I don't see a lot of training footage, or if I do, I see them just fucking working the pads, less chances of you getting injured. Well, MMA guys are always doing fucking weird fucking grappling shit and dumb sambo and elbows and fucking going in psycho. Sean Strickland fighting a fucking former Navy SEAL, Lol, John does as he pleases. Yeah. Jon Jones has dirt on Dana. I'm convinced at this point. Yeah, I mean, why else would Dana just fucking glaze Jones to death unless Jon Jones had something to hide? Something to make Dana nervous. Like Colby Covington, he got that fight with Leon Edwards solely based on fucking bribery over the Jorge Masvidal case. So maybe Jon Jones has some business practices and some shady deals from the past that if he let slip, Dana would be in massive trouble. So maybe that's why Dana's trying to fucking cover himself and hide his own bullshit and cover for Jones, because Jones might just fucking expose some of the skeletons in Dana's closet, and
I ain't telling you, if he shows footage of Dana and his wife getting physical in the club, Ariel Helwani's gonna have a fit.
Oh yeah, speaking of Ariel Helwani, Ariel Helwani is now gonna
be partnered with New York Rick and Frank. They're all coming back for the Ariel Helwani show. I'm totally not a narcissist at all, you guys. It's not the MMA Hour. It's the greatest journalist of all time.
Jones is really ducking Aspinall so he can have a perfect resume. Yeah, it's fucking pathetic, isn't it? Where Jorge been? Haven't seen him since Diaz fight. Usually see his scruffy self more. Maybe he's just pissed over the boxing. Maybe he's dealing with some injuries from that boxing fight as well. I know it's really hard to believe that Jorge could have any injuries from Nick Diaz, just with the little pitter-patter shots he does on the guard. And he throws a million punches and only one of them actually has any impact. But I don't know. It just seems like maybe Jorge wants to just run his fucking MMA promotion into the ground. So he's busy with fucking politics and dealing with legal cases some more. End of MMA fighting. Yes, sir. And I never really cared for that channel all that much. I said in the City Life Discord, I could fucking care less about that channel dying. All I was there for was Ariel
Helwani.
When I was watching MMA, and back in my day, when I was watching MMA Hour a couple of days ago, I didn't see Ariel, and I was questioning. Then he left. Yeah, he left about a week ago. And he's been in talks with Yahoo Sports. You remember that search browser? It's the greatest search browser of all time. Google has nothing on Yahoo Sports. They're brand new. They're revolutionary, and they gave me everything I wanted. So they're great. Rest of the channel is ass. Besides Mike Heck and Ariel Helwani. Old New York Mike. Yeah, it's true. I don't care about anything that show has in store. What is the reason Diaz throws pitter-patter punches? Because all his fights are rigged? I don't think so, Sniff. I think it's just Diaz's style where he doesn't want to come in too aggressive or else he might get countered. And he also, it's like death of 1,000 cuts. I've heard people call Diaz's style that before, where he just breaks you down over time and exhausts you. Whereas Diaz has the better gas tank. He can take a million shots and still be in it, as we saw in that Leon Edwards fight. Whereas as soon as he rocks his opponent with something, then they're on fucking wobbly legs and they're tired for the rest of the fight. So Diaz always has a better gas tank usually than his opponents, and he doesn't need to hit him with something big because he can just fucking wear him out and dominate them over time and win the rounds pretty handily. That's why he was able to win against Jorge Masvidal. Jed Meshew sucks and just says shit to piss people off. That's disgusting. Jed Meshew, is he part of MMA fighting as well? Is that guy a cuck as well?
I love Jed. He's also got that Meshew last name, so he's of the Judaic.
Why the hell did I even say that? Is that Judaic? What?
He's of the Judaist mindset, you guys. He fucking spun the dreidel with me. We were having some baklava and celebrating his bar mitzvah. Jed Meshew, what a mensch. Good old Jed. Isn't he great, New York Rick?
Oh, yeah. Even though I'm an atheist, I love everything you got going on here, Ariel. And if Jed Meshew wants to do some silly dances and go around the room with his big beard and his Amish hat, I'd be willing to be part of that.
What do you think, New York Frank? Yeah, of course, Ariel. I'll follow you to Yahoo Sports. I use Yahoo all the time, Ariel. I could do that for you. Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
Yeah, he's a greasy wanker without a chin. Well, I hope he gets knocked out for that lame-ass chin. Freudian slip. Exactly. Hank, you start school again soon, or did you never stop? No, dude, I graduated, man. I am got a bachelor degree in fucking history, dude, as well as a minor in film studies. I'm on top. I'm moving on up. I'm a graduated man. I am a full-ass man. I'm imbued with masculinity, if you will. I'm in the prime of my life, you know? Maybe not the prime of my mental health, but definitely something. Hank, please tell the rabbis I'm sorry. Rabbis, I'm sorry. Oh, well, Javolt. Oh, Sniff, of course you can go back to the fucking pastor, man. You can go back to the mosques. We accept you full-throated, as Elon Musk did for Donald Trump. We accept your admission into the Jewish faith full-throated. What the F do you do with that major now? Well, I'm looking into a few internships. I'm looking into a few job opportunities. I'm always searching. This economy's fucking rough, I'll be honest. But that's enough about me, man. I got a future. I got things to do. I got shit to stir, outside of just this war zone that the Skatesman and I are partaking in Mortal Kombat in. I as Mr. Krabs once put it, I've got a life. And speaking of that, I got to head out. Congrats on getting it, though, regardless. Thank you, Denial. But with that being said, I got a fucking life outside the podcast. You've listened to my fucking yapping long enough and my fucking schizophrenic tirades. I got to get out of here, troopers and grinders. So thank you for tuning into the War Zone. Be careful, troopers and grinders. Continue to do faithful service to the podcast and to your damn country. And until we meet again, troopers and grinders, you have escaped the War Zone. For now. I'm not glazing Jon Jones. I never glazed Jon Jones. But if you don't have him pound for pound number one, I'm going to fucking suck him off some more and tell you that you're wrong, Teddy Atlas. I hope you die.